Chapter 8. Description of MANVATARAS. 1. Swayambhu Manvantara. King Parikshit said to Shukdev, Gurudev, I just heard that tale of self-begotten Manu's lineage. Now kindly describe to me about the others Manus. Also describe the place of God's different incarnations which occurred during different Manvantaras. Shukdev said, Parikshit, during Tamas Manvantara, Lord Narayana was born as Hari incarnation from Harini, the wife of a sage. In that incarnation he saved an elephant from the jaws of a crocodile. During the present Kalpa, period comprising the sum of all the 4 yugas, 6 Manvantaras have passed. I have described the first one. Now, listen to the description of the other Manvantaras. 2. Swarochish Manvantara. Swarochi Manu was the son of Agni. He had sons named Dayumana, Sushena and Rochismana. During that Manvantara, Indra's post was occupied by Rochan. Scholars of Vedas like Vrajstamb etc. were among the Saptarishi, 7 great sages. Lord had taken incarnation as Vibhu, the son of a sage Vedshira and his wife Tushita. Vibhu remained a loyal celibate lifelong. Following his conduct, 88,000 more sages observed celibacy lifelong. 867. 3. Uttam Manvantara. Third Manu Uttam was the son of the king Priyavrata. He had sons named Pavan, Sanjay, Yagyahotra, etc. In that Manvantar, 7 sons of the sage Vashisht were Saptarishi, the 7 great sages. Indra's name was Satyajit. Satya, Vedshrut and Bhadra were the main Ganas, courtiers of the god. God had appeared in the incarnation of Satyasen, the son of Dharma and Sudritha. He was accompanied by Devganas named Satyavrat. Lord had destroyed during that period the evil Yakshas, demon and poltergeists. 4. Tamas Manvantara. Tamas, the 4th Manu, was the real brother of Uttam, the 3rd Manu. He had 10 sons. Tirishik was Indra then, with Satyak, Hari, Veer etc. as his main courtiers. Sage like Jyotirdham etc. were the Saptarishi. During that Manvantara, Lord had saved Gajendra from the jaws of the crocodile. 5. Raivat Manvantara. Raivas was the 5th Manu. He was also the real brother of Tamas, the 3rd Manu. He had many sons. Vibhu was the name of Indra. Sages like Hiraniroma, Vedshira, Urdhubam were among Saptarishi. God had appeared in the incarnation of Vakunt, the son of the sage Shubh, and his wife Vikuntha. At the request of goddess Lakshmi, Lord Vakunt created Vakunt Dham, the best among all other lokas, worlds. 6. Chakshush Manvantara. Chakshush was the 6th Manu. He had sons named Puru, Purusha, Sadyumna, etc. Mantradrama was Indra then, with Apya, etc. as main courtiers. Sages like Havishmana and Virka, etc. were among the Saptarishi. During that Manvantara, Lord had appeared in partial incarnation as Ajit, the son of Vanraj, and his wife Sambhunti. It was he who caused the churning of the sea and made the gods drink nectar and supported Mandarachal mountain on his back in Kachap, tortoise, from during the churning. 7. Vaivasvata Manvantara 868. Sri Shukdev says, Parikshit in the present era, the seventh Manu, Shardhadev is the son of Surya. He has 10 sons, Ikshvaku, Nabhag, Drisht, Sharyati, Narishanta, Nabhag, Disht, Karush, Prishadhra and Vasuna. Purnadar is the name of Indra. He has Aditya, Vasu, Rudra, Vishwadev, Marudgana, Ashwini, Kumar and Rishi as his main courtiers. Kashyapa, Atri, Vashishtha, Vishwamitra, Gautam, Zamdagni and Bharadwaj are the Saptarishi. During this Manvantara, God has arrived in Vaman incarnation as the son of Kashyapa and his wife Aditi. 8. Savarni Manvantara. Savarni, the son of Surya and Chaya, would be the 8th Manu. The king Surat, who had occurred in Swarachish Manvantara, had worshipped goddess Bhagwati intensely and thus received a boon of having an unbroken empire on earth. In later course he will be the son of Surya and become the 8th Manu also. He would have sons like Nirmaka, Virajas, etc. Varochna Bali would be Indra, Amritaprabha, etc. as his main courtiers. Galva, Deeptimana, Parshuram, Ashwathama, Kripacharya, Rishishring and Vyasa, these great sages would be the Saptarishi during the 8th Manvantara. God would take incarnation as Sarvbhaum, the sons of Devguhya and his wife Saraswati. God as Sarvbhaum would snatch the kingdom of Swarga, heaven, from Punadara Indra and give it to the king Bali. 9. Ninth Manvantara. Sri Shukdev says, Varuna's son Dakshasvarni would be the 9th Manu. He would have sons like Bhutketu, Deeptaketu, Dayutimana, etc. God would take birth as the incarnation of Rishabh, the son of sage Ayushmana and his wife Ambudhara. A person named Adbhut would be Indra and he would have Para, Marichigarbh, etc. as his main courtiers. 10. The 10th Manvantara 869. Upshloksa's son Brahma Savarni would be the 10th Manu. He would be very pious in nature and have sons like Bhurishin, etc. Havishmana, Sukriti, Satya, Jay, Murti, etc. would be Saptarishi. Shambhu would be Indra, with Suvasna, Viruddh, etc. as his main courtiers. God would appear in the incarnation of Vishwasin as the son of Vishwasris and his wife Vishuchi. He would be a friend of Indra. 11. The 11th Manvantara. The self-restraining Dharmasvarni would be the 11th Manu. He would have 10 sons. Vedhrita would be Indra with Vihangama, Kamgama, etc. as main courtiers. Vedic sages like Arun etc. would be the Saptarishi. God would appear as Dharmasetu, the sons of Aryak and Vedhrita. In this incarnation he would protect Triloki, all the three worlds. 12th Manvantara. Rudrasvarni would be the 12th Manu. He would have sons named Devvana, Updev and Devashrisht etc. Riddhama would be Indra with Hari etc. as his main courtiers. As the son of Satyashai and his wife Sunritha, the god would protect this Manvantara in the form of Swadham. 13th Manvantara. Devsavarni would be the 13th Manvantara. He would have sons named Chitrasen, Vichitra etc. Divsakti would be Indra of the gods like Sukarm, Sutram etc. Sages like Nirmoka, Tattvadarsh etc. would be the Saptarishi. God would appear as Yogeshwar, the sons of Devhotra and his wife Brihati. He would bestow the designation of Indra to Divsakti. 14th Manvantara. Indrasvarmi would be the 14th Manu. He would have sons like Uru, Gambhir Buddhi etc. Shuchi would be Indra and have Pavitra Chakshush etc. as his main courtiers. Agni, Bahu, Shuchi, Magad etc. would be the Saptarishi. God would appear in the incarnation of Brihadbhahu as the son of 870. Satrayana and his wife Vinta and caused the extension of Karmakand actions. Shukdev says, O Parikshit, these 14 Manvantaras had continued in past, are continuing in the present, and they would continue in the future also. It is by them that a kalpa, a period of 1000 Chaturyugas, is completed. Calculation of time is also done through these Manvantaras. Period of a Manvantara is slightly more than 71 Chaturyugas, all the 4 yugas passing 71 times. A Chaturyugya, period of all the 4 yugas taken together, lasts for about 3 million years, while a kalpa lasts for about 4,320 million years. This is equal to a day of Brahma. Brahma's night is Mahapralaya, the great deluge. When that night is over, Brahma again begins the work of new creation exactly as per the previous kalpa. Carrying out this responsibility continuously for a century, Brahma goes back to Bhagwad Dham, the abode of Lord Vishnu. His responsibilities are taken over by the next Brahma, who carries out the work of creation by the inspiration of Lord Narayana. Tale of Gajendra the elephant and GRAH, the crocodile. King Parikshit asked Munivar, God had saved Gajendra in his Hari incarnation. I wish to hear this tale. Shukdev says, O king, in Tamas Manvantara, God had appeared as Hari and saved Gajendra from the jaws of GRAH the crocodile. I am narrating the tale to you, listen to it carefully. Surrounded by Kshisagar, there was a high mountain named Trikuta. In the dense forest on the mountain there lived Gajendra along with his harem of many cows. Gajendra was the king of many big and strong elephants. One day, Gajendra was passing his time playfully with his family in the forests. It was very hot that day. So, perplexed by the sun, Gajendra descended down the mountain with his family. At the foothills, there was a big lake with deep, cold water and many lotuses blooming in it. 871. Gajendra entered the lake and drank water to his fill. Then he took bath and started to play in the water. His activities in the water disturbed the crocodile who lived there. With anger, the crocodile caught hold of Gajendra's leg. Startled by the sudden attack, Gajendra put all his might to get free, but in vain. They only jostled against each other for long. Every moment, Crocodile's strength seemed to be gaining. At last, because of constant pulling into water, Gajendra's strength gave away. Now, he was very desperate and thought that God has sent the crocodile as a noose of death, for him. This thought horrified the elephant, so he decided to take refuge at Sri Hari. Gajendra had the memory of his previous birth fresh. So concentrating his mind in the beautiful appearance of God, he began to pray, I take refuge at God, who is the base of the entire world, who is the ultimate refuge for everyone. It is difficult to unfold the mysteries of his place. He takes many guises. Not even the sages and the gods know his appearance and glory. May such a Lord protect me. O Lord, your powers are unending. You are gracious to those who take refuge in you. Illusioned by you, this humble creature does not recognize you. O Lord, I am in your refuge. Shukdev says, Parikshit, Gajendra had prayed God impartially and unspecifically, so other gods did not come to save him. Being the soul of everyone, Lord Sri Hari appeared himself and saw Gajendra in deep crisis. When Gajendra saw that Lord Sri Hari had arrived on his vehicle Garuda from the sky, he picked a lotus from the lake and raised it in his trunk and said, O Jagdishwar, God of all world, Narayana, here is a salutation for you. By then Lord jumped down from the Garuda and dragged both of them out of water. Then he tore the jaws of the crocodile by his wheel and saved Gajendra. All the gods, Brahma and Lord Shiva worshipped God and showered flowers on him. Previous births of Gaja and Grah killed by the god, the crocodile at once acquired a divine appearance. He was a good-natured Gandharv, demigod, named Huhu in his previous birth. By the curse of Mahatma Deval, he had to take birth in crocodile form. But now, by the grace of God, he was saved and 872 went to his heavenly abode. Gajendra too received salvation by mere touch of God. He too went to the heavenly abode of God. In his previous birth, Gajendra was a king of Pandya dynasty. His name was Indradyumna. He was a fervent devotee of God. So he had abandoned his kingdom and taken to penance on Malay mountain. One day he was engrossed in his worship when sage Agastya arrived there with his disciples. For not getting due welcome from the king, Agastya cursed him, "You with a dull mind, who neglect his guests will be born as an elephant." But even in elephant incarnation, and by the virtues of his devotion, Gajendra retained the memory of his previous birth. God appointed him as his courtier and departed to his divine abode riding on Garuda. Churning of the sea. King Parikshit asked, "O great sage, how did God cause churning of the sea? What was the purpose behind it? Kindly tell me." Shukdev says, "Parikshit, in the sixth Chakshush Manvantara, the demons King Bali had defeated the gods. Indra had also lost his glory by insulting the garland which sage Durvasa had presented to him as a god's gift. Indra had put the garland in elephant's neck and then got it crushed under its feet. But now, having lost his kingdom and struck by misfortune, Indra and other gods with Brahma prayed to the Lord. Melted by their prayers, God appeared before them. All the gods laid before him and worshipped. The omnipotent God inspired the gods to churn the sea. Lord asked the gods to churn the sea and produce nectar. He also advised them to take the help of demons in that great task. Drinking the nectar, one becomes immortal. God asked the gods to put various medicinal plants and vegetations in Kshisagar, sea of milk, and churn it by Mandarachal mountain, moving it with the help of Vasuki Thenaga. God promised them of all help from his part. 873. Thereafter, Indra and other gods went unarmed to the demon king Bali and told him of their intention. Demons too liked the idea. With a friendly attitude, then the gods and the demons together uprooted the Mount Mandarachal. But they could not carry it to the sea. Lord appeared on Garuda and carried the mountain to the sea. The gods and demons had promised Vasuki, the Naga, his due share in the nectar. So Vasuki allowed them to use him as a rope, wound around Mandarachal as a means to move it. In the incarnation of Ajit, Lord told the gods to hold the head of Vasuki. But the demons, suspecting some mischief, said they would hold the head and asked the gods to hold the Naga from the tail for churning. Thus the gods held the tail while the demons took hold of Vasuki's head. Thus they began the churning. But as soon as the churning began, the mountain started sinking for not having a firm base. Lord then took Kachak, tortoise, incarnation and supported Mandarachal on his back. On the mountain also Lord appeared in Sahasrabahu form and held it. The gods and the demons churned the sea for long, but nothing emerged. So, Lord Ajit himself began to churn the sea. First of all, it was halahal, the deadly poison to emerge. The intensity of the poison began to torment every being. To save their subjects from it, Prajapatis prayed Lord Shiva. The life-giver, Lord Bholenath, an epithet of Lord Shiva, drank all the poison. By the impact of the poison, Lord Shiva's throat turned blue in color. Hence Lord Shiva got the name Nilkantha. Emergence of gems and nectar. After Lord Shiva drank the poison, the gods and the demons began to churn the sea again with greater enthusiasm. Now, Kamadhenu, the divine cow, emerged. She was useful for yajna, etc., so the sages received it. Then a horse named Uchchashrava emerged and taken up by Bali, the king of demons. The horse was followed by Airavat the elephant. Indra took it. The divine gem, Kaustubhamani, emerged then. Lord Ajit took it on his chest. Then emerged the Kalpavriksha, the divine tree that reached the heavens. Then the Apsaras emerged. They all accepted to serve Indra in heaven. 874. Goddess Lakshmi emerged after the Apsaras. All the azimuths were lighted because of her brilliance. Everyone was attracted towards her beauty, generosity, youthfulness, appearance and glory. Devaraj Indra presented a throne for her to sit. Rivers brought water for her ceremonial bath. The earth presented medicinal bath. Cows gave Panchganyas and Vasant, spring, presented many kinds of fruits and flowers. The sages welcomed Lakshmi with Riksuktas, hymns of Rigveda. Gandharvas sang in her praise. Then taking the lotus in her hand, Lakshmi took a seat on the throne. She adorned her with a beautiful silk sari. Varuna presented a garland. Saraswati gifted her with a necklace of pearls. Brahma presented lotus while Nagas presented two earrings. After the singing by Brahmans in her praise, Lakshmi took lotus garland in her hand and put it around Lord Vishnu's neck in a gesture of accepting him as her husband. Jagatpita, Lord Vishnu, to gave Lakshmi a supreme position in his heart. Lakshmi was followed by Varunai, who was taken up by the demons. The gods and the demons began to churn the sea again. At last Lord Dhanvantari emerged with an urn of nectar. It was Dhanvantari who developed Ayurveda, the ancient Indian system of medicine. As soon as the demons saw the urn, they snatched it and ran away. A row then began among the demons over the drinking of nectar. Consoling the gods, Lord appeared among the demons in the guise of an extremely pretty woman, Mohini. Distribution of nectar by Lord as Mohini. The demons who were fighting over the portions of nectar forgot everything when they saw Mohini, who was actually a guise of Lord Vishnu. Lured by her prettiness, the demons came to Mohini and requested her to solve the dispute for them. Illusioned by God, the demons even gave the nectar to Mohini and sat peacefully, showing their confidence in her. In Mohini's guise, Lord thought that the demons were congenitally cruel and giving nectar to them would be akin to feeding snakes with milk. Their evils would increase. 875. So, Mohini offered the nectar to the gods only while offered wine to the demons. When the nectar was being distributed, a demon named Rahu took the guise of a god and sitting among them drank the nectar. Surya and Chandra spotted him and revealed his identity to God, who at once beheaded him. But by then Rahu had drunk enough nectar. Conquering of heaven by King Bali. Shukdev says, Parikshit, by the virtues of the ambrosia, the gods had become invincible. They began to take revenge, and the demon king Bali met his death in the battle. When Brahma saw the imminent extermination of the demons, he sent Devarshi Narada in the battlefield to make the gods abstain from the war. The surviving demons carried the dead Bali towards Astachal. There, Shukracharya, the teacher of the demons, resurrected all the demons with his Sanjeevani Vidya, knowledge that resurrects the dead. Thus obligated, the demon king Bali dedicated all his wealth to Shukracharya and began to serve him and other Brahmans of Bhrigu clan. By the service of the demons, the Brahmans of Bhrigu clan got very much pleased. King Bali had a long cherished desire of conquering the heaven. So the Brahmans organized a Vishwajit Yajna for Bali. At the completion of Yajna, first emerged a beautiful chariot, all covered with gold. Then green-colored horses, inexhaustible quiver, and a divine shield emerged in sequence from the altar. Bali's grandfather Prahlad presented him a garland while Shukracharya gave a conch. Thus receiving all the weaponaries, King Bali took oath and circumambulated Brahmans. Thereafter, greeting them, he boarded the chariot followed by powerful demons and their huge armies. Thus fully prepared, Bali launched a massive attack on the heaven. When Indra saw that Bali had come with full preparation and that his armies had surrounded Amravati, he went to his teacher Brihaspati and asked about the reason for the demons' sudden uprising. Devguru said, Indra, blessing of 876. Bhrigu Brahmans is the main reason of the demons' uprising. You can't face the demon armies yet because Kal himself is in their favor. So you all abandon the heaven and hide somewhere. After the abdication of the heaven by the gods, Bali captured it. Then he conquered all the three worlds. With advice of his priests, Bali organized 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas. Thus, by the grace of Shukracharya and other Brahmins of Bhrigu clan, King Bali got the domain of the heaven and began to rule it generously. Preaching of Payavrata to Aditi by Kashyapa, Shri Shukdev says, O Parikshit, Aditi, mother of the gods, felt very sorry for the gods and capture of the heaven by the demons. When sage Kashyapa visited Aditi's hermitage, he saw his wife in desperate mood. On inquiring about the reason, Aditi said, Lord, by your grace my married life is running well. But I am sorry for the pitiable condition of my sons, the gods. Strong demons have snatched their abode. So kindly tell me the remedy. At her request, Kashyapa preached Aditi about a worship named Payovrat to seek the blessing god. This worship, Payovrat, is carried out during the waxing phase of the month Falgun that correspond to February to March months in Gregorian calendar, for 12 days continuously. One must drink milk only during the worship. One day before starting the vrat, that is on the day of Amavasya, moonless night, one must smear his body with the earth dug out by the boars and take bath in the river. Then, one must worship God with Shodushopchar, 16 treatments, while following the rules prescribed for daily routine. He must recite Dvadshakshari mantra, hymn containing 12 letters, perform havan with kheer, rice cooked in milk, and distribute nivadya, remaining food from havan, among the devotees. Reciting the 12-lettered hymn, one must tell the rosary string at least once about the wish. Thus, the same worship must be performed for 12 days continuously. If one feeds a Brahman daily during the vrat, he can be sure of God's grace. Mother of the gods, Aditi performed Payovrat as per the advice of her husband Kashyapa. 877. Pleased by her vrat, the Lord appeared before her in Chaturbhuj, four-armed form. Mother Aditi laid flat on the ground to greet the god. She prayed, O Lord, you are the God of Yajna and Yajna yourself. Those who take refuge at your feet are saved when you are pleased. Nothing remains ungettable. Lord said, O Mother of the gods, I know about your desire. You have worshipped me for your sons, but it is difficult yet to defeat the demons. But because of your worship, I will protect your sons by becoming your child. Vaman, incarnation of God. When the Lord arrived in Aditi's womb, Brahma prayed to him. By Brahma's prayers, the unborn God appeared before Aditi. Shukdev says, O Parikshit, on the 12th day of the waxing phase of Bhadrapada month, corresponding to September, Lord took birth in Abhijit Muhurta. Everywhere, everybody celebrated the arrival of God with joy. The gods showered flowers on him. The god had arrived in Vaman, dwarf, form. His countenance appearance caused tremendous joy for the sages. During Upnayan consecration of Lord, the ruling deity of the Gayatri mantra, Savitri, an epithet for Surya, preached him the hymn. Guru gave him Yagyopvit, Kashyapa gave neck kerchief, the earth gave black buckskin, Chandra gave scepter, Mother gave loin cloth, the sky gave umbrella, Brahma gave kamandalu, coconut shell ball, Saptrishi gave kush, sacred grass, while goddess Saraswati presented God with a string of rosaries. Yaksharaj, king of Yakshs, Kuber gave him the alms ball, and Mother Annapurna gave him alms. Thus everyone paid due respect to God in Vaman, dwarf, incarnation who was radiating with divine glory. Lord Vaman was intimated that the king Bali was performing many Ashwamedha yajnas with Bhrigu Brahmins. He at once left for the yajna site at a place named Bhrigukach on the banks of the river Narmada. As soon as Lord Vaman reached the site, all the sages, hosts and others present there became dull before the radiance of God. They felt as if Surya himself had arisen there. Everyone stood up to welcome God. Host Bali offered him the 878 best seat and washed his feet with affection. Then Bali requested God for his service. Demanding 3 steps of land by Vaman, King Bali requested, O Brahman, now tell me how I can serve you. You are the tangible representation of the penance of Brahmarishis. By your arrival, all my ancestors are saved, my clan is blessed, my yajna has succeeded. Ask me whatever you wish. I am ready to give you your desired object. Hearing the pious talk of the king Bali, Lord Vaman blessed him and said, O king, no one have been impatient and frugal in your clan. Reputation of your grandfather Prahlad is still alive. Your great-grandfather Hiranyakashipu had chased the illusionary Vishnu who had hid in your great-grandfather's heart itself. When the infuriated Hiranyakashipu could not find Vishnu anywhere in all the 3 worlds, he presumed that Vishnu had died because of his fear alone. O king, continued Lord Vaman, you are excellent among the religious people. O demon king, you can fulfill any great desire. But I demand only as much land as could be covered in 3 steps of mine. I need nothing else. King Bali said, O Bathu, dwarf Brahman, you talk like aged persons, but your mind is childish. I am the ruler of all the 3 worlds, and you are asking for 3 steps of land only. You can still ask for anything else. Lord Vaman replied, O king, greedy ones are not sated even if they get whole of the earth. But I don't want more than my requirement. King Bali agreed to donate Vaman the land as per his demands and picked up the water pot to make resolution. When Guru Shukracharya saw that Bali had agreed to donate land, he tried to persuade him, O Bali, this Vaman is none other than indestructible Lord Vishnu. He has taken incarnation of Vaman as a son of Aditi, Kashyapa's wife, in the interest of the gods. Unknowingly you have made a promise to fulfill his desire. But he will snatch everything from you and hand it over to Indra. This illusionary Bathu will measure whole of your empire in all the 3 worlds with his 2 steps, so you will not be able to keep your promise also. Hence, show your inability to make donation as per his demand, send him back. Measuring of earth's heaven by Vaman. 879. Shukdev says, Parikshit, with politeness King Bali asserted to his teacher, Gurudev, your words are true. But I am the grandson of great Prahlad. Now I cannot reverse my promise. No religion is greater than truth. I am not afraid of any calamity except of deceiving a Brahman. When Shukracharya saw that his disciple Bali was determined to violate his dictate, he cursed, O king, soon you will be devoid of the wealth you have been enjoying. But despite having been cursed by his teacher, Bali stayed firm to his promise. Worshipping Vaman formally, he took some water on his palm and made the promise to donate land. As soon as Bali made the promise, Lord Vaman assumed a gigantic appearance and measured Bali's entire empire in his steps. In first he measured the whole of the earth. In the next he measured the heaven. The second step itself reached Satyaloka, where Brahma had once washed Lord's feet and kept the water in a kamandalu, a ball of coconut shell, that came on earth later as the river Ganges. Now there was no room for God to put his third step. Lord ridiculed Bali for not keeping his promise. Fully, your everything is mine now, but your promise is still incomplete. Shukdev says Lord ridiculed Bali, but he remained unmoved with patience. He said, O Lord, I keep my promise fully. You put your third step on my head. I don't want a blemish on my reputation. Lord said, I snatch all the wealth from people who are bestowed with my grace. they then become an inseparable devotee of me, free from every blemish. Thus Lord Vishnu gave Bali the empire of Sutaloka, Hades, that was even richer than the heaven, and said, I will protect you there from all the obstacles. Your 100th Ashwamudh Yajna shall be completed. In due course of time you shall be the king of the heaven. This way, without fighting a battle, Lord took the empire of heaven from the demons and gave it to his brother Indra. Tale of Matsyaavatar. King Parikshit asked, O Gurudev, Lord is omnipotent. Why did he then take Matsyaavatar like an ordinary being bound by karma? I want to hear the tale of 880. God's Matsyaavatar. Shukdev said, O Parikshit, God is one. Still, for the preservation of his devotees, he takes various incarnations. He also shows his place by being present in all the creatures. But he remains unaffected by the merits and demerits of those living beings. Parikshit, at the end of last Kalpa, Brahma had fallen asleep, causing a pralaya. All the worlds had been inundated then. When Brahma had fallen asleep, Vedas fell out from his open mouth. A demon Hayagriva abducted the Vedas by his illusionary powers. Omnipotent God had known the action of the demon. So he had to take Matsyaavatar, fish incarnation. There was a king named Satyavrat during that time. He was very generous and great devotee of God. Sustaining himself on water only, the king was observing severe penance. The same king Satyavrat has come to be known as Shraddhadev, the son of Surya, Vavashvat, in the present Kalpa. One day, Satyavrat was taking a bath in the river when a small fish came in his folded palms. The fish requested the king to save her. So the king put the fish in Kamandalu, coconut shell ball. But in no time the fish grew too big to be accommodated in the Kamandalu. So the king transferred the fish into another, bigger pot. But again it grew too big to be accommodated in the pot. The sequence continued till the fish outgrew even the big lake. So the king decided to put the fish in the sea. The fish, which was actually an incarnation of God, requested the king not to put it in a sea inhabited by fierce monsters. King Satyavrat grew suspicious. So with folded hands, the king requested the fish to appear in its real form. Instantaneously, Lord Narayana appeared and told the king, exactly on the 7th day from now, Pralaya will inundate all the 3 lokas. But I will send a boat for you. You will board the boat and tether it to my horns with Vasuki, the Naga. Having received the information of deluge, the king began to wait for its arrival while reflecting on God's virtues. On the 7th day, dense clouds gathered in the sky and began to rain torrentially. Soon whole of the earth was inundated. The king Satyavrat found the boat sent by Lord. Boarding the boat, Satyavrat began to pray to God. At his prayers, Lord preached him the knowledge of metaphysical. Thereafter, the god killed the 881 demon Hayagriv and recovered the Vedas. When Brahma awoke from his sleep, Lord handed the Vedas to him.